So if you were watching this moment on the kickoff show, you would have seen this happen. Blah, 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 vintage Randy Orton. Yes, everybody, it's another mark against the very crappy name of... Dun 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 dun, who will be to blame for every single production error for the rest of time for his sins. This one had me thinking Maggle Cole was going to turn into Kanye Pest once again. And while we're here, we might as well add a WTF moment for every single production error that happened all Saudi Arabia weekend. Here's a tip: use the backstage microphones before you've turned them sideways and shoved them up your candy arses. The sound was so muffled. Now, did anyone notice there wasn't a Prime logo in the centre of the ring like they're supposed to be for every single PLE forevermore? It's almost like the Saudi government said, that doesn't work for us, brothers. I don't know what it is, but I can't believe the Perk Angle meme made it all the way over to Saudi Arabia. Someone in Saudi Arabia understood that meme and then turned it into the Perk Gable meme. It really does appear that an overindulgence in drugs that leaves you zonked out like a rope-running Bron Breaker with a stick of dynamite up his arse really brings the world together. And that sign reads right there, Jeddah needs CM Punk. And I've got some breaking news in my ear, everybody. What's that? We have CM Punk's thoughts on Saudi Arabia right now. Christ alive, this is awkward. But it does make you wonder, put your tinfoil hats on, everybody. Is CM Punk really that injured, or did he ham up his injury so he didn't have to appear on this weekend's shows? And speaking of CM Punk, way back in day, he used to love to grammar slam those silly idiots who couldn't spell words. So chances are maybe he would want to go to Saudi Arabia to do a shoot GTS to that sign holder there. In the words of Big Will Smith, he a little confused, but he got the spirit. Now, I saw a lot of people last night taking the P155 out of Becky Lynch for wearing an attire that made her look like someone who plays the piano in a restaurant that charges $5,000 for some dust. But the real WTF moment here, because I am a massive Brittany Spears fan, it turns out, is that Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch actually worked together for both their attires for their world title blood feud match. You see, Becky Lynch is wearing Britney Spears' iconic attire from the 2000 VMA Awards, where she performed I Can't Get No Satisfaction on a night where Becky Lynch lost the World Championship. It all makes sense. And of course, Liv Morgan is wearing an oops, I did it again number on the night where she won the Women's Championship once more, and on a night where she's not that innocent. I love Britney Spears, me. And as we all know, big Britney Spears fans, Britney Spears had a song called Work Bitch, and that's exactly what Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio are doing right there. They're working us marks like a pair of bloody professional wrestlers. Who the hell do they think they are? So of course, on the pre-show, the kickoff show for last night's show, we saw Liv Morgan see Dominik Mysterio approach her, and she's like, oh my God, what are you doing here? And then Dom says to Liv, hey Liv, I'm gonna make sure you don't walk out as the women's champion. And then Dirty Dom throws a chair in the middle of the ring that Liv Morgan then uses to do a shoot DDT to win said women's championship. This is a master plan comparable to undoubtedly one of the greatest strategic masterpieces in human history, which was Dictator Fabius in the Second Punic War. Dictator Fabius and Dominik Mysterio, one and the same. You see, because Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio have been doing this sex wah wah wee wah. You see, because Liv Morgan is getting back at Rhea Ripley on this revenge tour, and Dominik Mysterio is under Liv's spell. What else could a neckerchief in a pocket possibly mean, everybody? In the spirit of Dominik Mysterio's biological father, he's telling us, without telling us, he's lying about cheating on Rhea Ripley and also steal stuff. Viva la Raza! I don't know about you, but when I saw Maxine Dupri walk out on the stage last night, I couldn't help but think about something as equally as sexy. Direct quote from Chad Gable this time when he says, stick to the plan. Remember what I told you, when the time is right. And what a moron Master Gable is telling Otis when the camera, which picks up sound by the way, Master Gable, is that close to his mouth. We all know there's televisions in gorilla position where Sami Zayn would have been while Master Gable was delivering this team talk to Otis, so Sami Zayn would have heard everything, and I mean everything, Master Gable said. This is even worse tactical play than the likes of the Wet Bandits or Hitler.
Made a grave mistake, Corey.
Direct quote from Corey this time when he says you could almost see the adrenaline pulsating through the Intercontinental Champion. Now, I don't know about you, when I see a professional wrestler like Sami Zayn with his back against the barricade and his arm, and I'm hesitant to do this, but let's go for anyway, gift this if you want and show your mum. I don't know. If he's doing right this, with his back against the barricade, all I can see, Corey Graves, is Sami Zayn air wanking. So many spots in that triple threat match were WTF moment worthy, but none more so than a no run up, a no turnbuckle assisted Blue Thunder bastard bomb from Sami Zayn to Big Bronson Reed. Somehow, Sami and Bron got Bron's big arse in the air that high, and then somehow Sami spanned that meat feast like a pizza dough before going hoo-ha down on the mat. This is the biggest bomb Saudi Arabia has seen since The Undertaker and Goldberg bombed in that match. Ah, there's the ever-reliable Corey Graves, filling us in on all the crack. So the lads on commentary are speaking about the symbolism of Lyra Valkyria being a raven lady and all the Irish fighting for the Irish chocolate back in the day. This led to Corey Graves saying, and I quote as I pick up my notes, "Today I feel like a giraffe cull." No explanation given, they moved on, and so will I. It's a WTF moment. Now this thing right here gives a new meaning to the term squash match, doesn't it? We witnessed a murder last night at King and Queen of the Ring as Nia Jax landed full arse on Lyra Valkyria's middle section as Lyra thought she was going for a powerbomb. And how Lyra Valkyria doesn't look like this morning really puts over the strength of Bones. Up the Bones! And of course we've got to give a WTF moment for Randy Orton's entrance last night, from his music starting to his music being turned off. It was 6 minutes and 16 seconds. And the bigger WTF moment is, if you go back to 2017, he had several headlocks that were longer than 6 minutes and 16 seconds every bloody time. And of course, that blind ass referee couldn't see that Randy Orton's shoulder was up. How could he not see that Randy Orton's shoulder was up? His eyes are supposed to be on one thing at that moment in time, and he couldn't even see that one thing. That shoulder is higher than Rob Van Dam after he's toked on a sweaty doobie while standing on the shoulders of Hornswoggle at the top of Mount Fuji, for Christ's sake. At least Triple H came out after the show and said, well, we'll do the replay, but that won't be for a while, because Randy Orton's knackered. But still, what a load of bollocks. And now it's time for this.
Wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank. Wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank.
Welcome back to Wankety Wank. This is, of course, the part of WTF Moments where I, Ross Tweddell, a lovely, wholesome human boy, give you the credit for a WTF moment I have missed, also because I'm rubbish. Thanks to the wicked Dan Torkel for reminding me that King Mabel went on to face Diesel for the world title at SummerSlam. In fact, no, wicked Dan Torkel, up yours for reminding me King Mabel was even a thing ever. And of course, lol at everybody in that arena last night for thinking they were getting a shoot match announced on the fly between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship. And shame on Triple H for doing what he did last night when he said, well, Drew McIntyre has been cleared, and well, Damian Priest is a man of his word and he's agreed to defend his world title against a fully fit Drew McIntyre. And I'm making it official! For Glasgow, you cocks! Now, if all Richard Gad did was give Fiona a cup of tea to get several years of stalking done to his sorry arse, what has Cody Rhodes just done to himself there by offering his crotch to a fan who wouldn't let go of his midriff like he was Jack and that bloody door in the sea way back in the day? Cody Rhodes, I know you're watching. If anyone offers you a TV gig and promises to make you a mainstream star, just say no. Maggle, 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 maggle. Logan, you signed a pre-nook. Now, I didn't know whether to laugh at the wordplay being absolutely fantastic and Logan Paul not being very impulsive, or whether to push my fingers into my eyes or ears, because that's where sound goes in. Direct quotes from Logan Paul last night when he said, right at Michael Cole, I will take your head off, I will decapitate you. If you don't know why that's a WTF moment at last night's show in particular, please go and ask your parents and make for a really awkward situation. Now, we all remember Sugar Shane Helms' entrance theme from back in WCW, don't we? Yes, we do, said 10 people watching this video. Anyway, this is how it used to go. Vertebraker, from side to side, Vertebraker. I've forgotten the lyrics, what the hell was it? Does the trick every time. But of course, unless you're facing a YouTuber who you don't think's very good because he doesn't do the wrestling full time. Why is Logan Paul getting up from a Vertebraker, for God's sake? And a couple of sobering WTF moments to end this nonsense this morning, this afternoon, this evening, whenever you're watching this absolute bollocks. First and foremost, foremost, Cody Rhodes needed a Saudi Arabian comedian to defeat YouTuber and not full-time professional wrestler, and because of that, he's not very good in Logan Paul. And secondly, Uncle Howdy. He must have missed his flight.